Well, here we are at the old magistrate's court at the back of the town hall. Quite quiet. Harriet's got a few people around. Obviously we're in a sort of a semi-lockdown, no licensed cafes and restaurants are open. But what's going on here, it doesn't stop the democratic process for some people. This is the Romanian community. They're having another election. In Romania, it's a Romanian national election. I shall speak to somebody in a moment and get some full details. Right, I'm at this election. The Romanian community in Jersey have got an election, and this lady, whose name is
Maria Barou.
Maria Barou, is one of the officials here. Now, I don't know whether she lives here, works here. She obviously works here, lives here.
Yes, definitely. I'm living in Jersey for about 2 years.
3 years,
and,
right?
Living and working in Jersey.
Now, it's very strange about the Romanian government, the way you operate, because this vote is for something like MPs in Romania. This
yes,
is what it's something
exactly.
like. And wherever you are in the world, if you're Romanian, you can vote in this election.
Yes, it's true.
Which is quite remarkable, because Romania is not a huge country. I mean, that's a huge undertaking, isn't it?
Yes, it's true, but we are split all over the world, so that's why we need to vote today from all over no matter from where we are and where we are living. Today we are all Romanians, and today we need to vote all together.
Is it just today, or is it today and tomorrow?
Normally the election day will be tomorrow, but because everybody's working and having different kind of jobs, we're having 2 days to tomorrow vote.
Now there is a facility in other places that you can vote by post or electronically, or what is it? You can different methods.
As far as I know, in these ones we need to go to the office. We just need to vote like directly.
Right. How do you know who you're voting for? The people back in Romania, the candidates, how do you know who they are?
Because we are having our Romanian TV post, and we are all the times close to our country, and we know exactly what is happening. Even if we are far, definitely in our heart will always be our country. So we are watching the TV news, we are watching everything in our native language, and we know exactly how our political goes.
Oh, obviously it's not normal times at the moment. You can't meet with other Romanians as easily as normal.
Yes, but being a very small community,
right.
We are very close, especially here in Jersey,
right.
and we are having our site, Romanian community in Jersey, and we keep in touch there with all the information.
Right.
And our consul Andrea is keeping us updated with all that is happening.
Is there much discussion amongst the local community of Romanian things? Do they discuss politics? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We discussed everything.
There you go. And obviously there will be political parties in Romania.
Yes.
How many? Are there many, or is it just a few?
No, it's about 4 which are more important, and
right.
up to 4 that are just smaller.
Right. Well, it's fascinating. Have you got any idea how many seats there are that are being voted for? How many is it? Several hundred?
It will be. Definitely will be. Our country is a classic country, and we really respect our election day.
Right.
And no matter where we are, all over the world, normally in the election days, everybody's taking days off, and they are going to vote to sustain their favorites. So I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Who counts the local votes, the Jersey votes? Who counts them?
We are going to count them here.
Right.
We are going to count them here, and after that we are going to send them away through like general office.
All right. And where do they finish up in London, or do they go back to Romania? I know you said Poland then.
London and Romania.
Romania. Obviously, it's a real problem. Talking of other things, this Christmas, I know lots of Romanians like to go over Christmas. It's a wicked year, isn't it, with this COVID? Is that upsetting many plans?
Yes, but it is how it is. It's happening all over the world. Lucky us, we are living in Jersey, and I think for everybody who is living here in these sad times, we are blessed by the God, because we couldn't feel the effect so hardly here. Most of our friends are keep having their jobs, so basically we are living bit normal times that in all over the parts of the country and all over parts of the world. So
Do you get much feedback from people in, obviously you've got Romanian friends, relatives in England, Britain?
Yes.
Do they say whether things are bad or better there, or what do you know?
As far as I know, in this time it's bad everywhere. But as I said before, in Jersey it's not so bad. So we are
Really?
lucky to live. Yeah, we are lucky to live in Jersey because we're still having our jobs. We're still having our normal life. Our community of Romanian in Jersey is pretty connected. So we cannot feel being so away from home.
From what you know, do many Romanians vote in Jersey elections? Because obviously they're entitled.
Yes, definitely. We've been very busy. We open our section at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we're having a very nice surprise as all our Romanians are coming. And
I was interested how many are voting here in the Romanian. How many vote in Jersey elections for Jersey politicians?
We don't know at this point, but since we start in the morning, we are up to 40, and definitely tomorrow is going to be more busy as it's Sunday.
Right, okay. Because Jersey's just reformed its government here.
Yeah.
And it's ironic that today, this weekend, they're having discussions, the British government's having discussions in Brussels, and you're in the European Union. Britain is coming, or today it'll be out of the European Union. Of course, Jersey's not in at all. So whatever happens there, we have no say in it. But you do, in Romania, you have a say what goes on in Europe. It's very strange, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But what is normal in our times? Nothing.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Sorry?
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
No, that's fine. There's just if some of our Romanians are watching this video, today is normally tonight we are celebrating the Saint Nicholas.
Oh, right.
And Saint Nicholas in our country normally is coming with sweets and presents for the children. And I think in the bottom of our heart, we are all together, some little children. So I hope Saint Nicholas will come with hope.
This is your green Father Christmas, is it?
Yes, exactly. So
exactly.
I wish to everybody that Saint Nicholas to come with hope, with joy, with health, with success, with whatever everybody wants, and let's just hope that we are going to manage to be all together and to pass through these sad times.
Right, thanks very much. Thanks for your help. Well, for those who are interested, there's a few more details off the web about today's election. The Jersey election actually takes place today and tomorrow until 9 o'clock. So if Romanians in Jersey want to vote, they can go down to the back of the town hall and the old magistrate's office, Seal Street or Sand Street, Seal Street, I'm not sure what it is. Back of the town hall till 9 o'clock tonight and 9 o'clock tomorrow night. That's Sunday, the 7th. But here's some details on the Romanian election as it takes place in the national election. But this is a fascinating thing. Now, Jersey's just had a great 3-day debate in the States, which has been going on for 20 odd years, about reforming the electoral process here and trying to make it more democratic. Now, I don't know how democratic the Romanian system is here, but you can see they've got these guys. There's a party there, Marcel Ciu, PSD party, Ludovic Orban, PNL party, Dan Barna, USR Plus. So they've got a number of parties, Kellerman, UDMR, and of course we've got no idea what they mean, but for Romanian people, we hope they understand. And you can see here the size of it. They've got 329 seats in the chamber and 136 seats in the Senate. So it's 329 plus 136. So it tells you there. It's a bit like it's a national election. This is for the equivalent of MPs, like Parliament. And I'm intrigued because Romania obviously has a place in European Union. It's a member of the European Union. So these European Union matters are being discussed in Brussels or Strasbourg, wherever they're discussing them today, the British government. So the final deal, no deal, will be settled over the next couple of days. And of course, Jersey people, residents of Jersey, have had no say in the matter. We have to take what we're given, basically. And of course, a lot of fuss is being made about the fishermen and the fishing rights. But of course, fishermen are a very small part of our population. And they're making a big shout about it because fishermen in England, and there aren't many fishermen in England either, And it's traditionally, historically, it's always been a flashpoint, because fishermen, they tend to meet out in the middle of the ocean where there are no police. Traditionally, there are police out there now. And they have fights, and their fights lead to wars. There's always friction between the fishermen of different countries. It's always been so. But of course, Jersey is not a different country from the United Kingdom. It's just a different part of the British Isles. And the British government, for which we don't elect people, makes the decisions on our behalf. And they've recently changed the law so that they can introduce legislation what sounds like without consulting with Jersey. Now, this is an old battle which has been going on for centuries. They've been doing it, for example, over fishing. Fishing territorial rights has come up before. That's a decision which the United Kingdom made before for Britain. And Channel Islanders, like Manxmen, have no seat. They don't have a seat in Parliament. So this is one of the hotbeds, and also you look at it, it's always seen as an infringement of Jersey and Guernsey's rights or Manx rights. But in fact, the British government has got the power. Obviously, it has to have the power to ultimately legislate for these places. You can't have the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man going off doing their own thing if it's going to be harmful to Britain or British interests around the world. Bear in mind, Britain's got responsibilities all over the world. Whether they should have the remnants of the old empire, I don't know. But they do have, and there's a Commonwealth, and there's little islands all around the world. And Britain likes to have this status, and they like to have a navy, and they like to still patrol the world as though they still have an empire. But of course, it's all a bit of a... And of course, Jersey makes no contribution that's worth talking about to that system, neither does Guernsey. And I don't think Isle of Man does either. But of course, the Isle of Man's got... There's different arrangements. This is another complexity. If you talk about one island, it's not the same for the other islands. So it makes it very difficult to discuss these things. Obviously, it doesn't concern very much the Romanians who are voting today on their issues, but of course, it could become an issue, because for the few Romanians that there are in Jersey, Guernsey, Isle of Man, mostly they're in Britain, there could be issues. Whoever they vote for out there in Romania, they might have views upon the relationship in these crown dependencies. So there is a relevance, but I rather suspect that Romanians are not too concerned about that. They're more concerned about the government which takes place in... It's interesting that this little election is taking place over 2 days on a weekend. Now, these are lessons which Jersey hasn't quite got to grips with yet. And it's also this election you can take place, at least in the in other countries where they've got bigger administrations, you can have postal votes. So there's a lot to be learned from this process about Romania and the Romanians and how they conduct themselves. I mean, Jersey doesn't allow votes for people outside of Jersey. They say, in other words, if you're the equivalent of a Romanian, you're a Jersey person you could be working in Romania, but you could have all your qualifications, you could be born here, but you're not allowed to have a vote here. As far as I know, I don't know what the circumstances are. If they want to stay here, sometime during next year, they'll have the ability, the Jersey government will have the ability to expel people who haven't got their settled status. And they claim they will have it on the basis of a criminal conviction. No, not what that will be and how they will know and how we'll enforce it, I've no idea. But these are the sort of things. So anyway, this is a remarkable event. I think they had several elections for the Romanians in Jersey. They've had presidents, they've had all sorts of things. I think they have a president and a prime minister, I think, elections. Oh, they also had a referendum on whether they should be part of the European Union. So they get to say. Jersey people have never had that say. We didn't take part in the Brexit. We didn't take part in the Jersey election to go into the European Union. We didn't take part in the Brexit one to come out. So, it's there's a lot to be learned from these communities. I don't know what the Polish is like. I've covered their election. I don't know how different it is. And of course, there are lots of European people living here. And some do have elections here, some don't. And I think we're going to have a revised system. We're going to have more deputies in Jersey. We're going to still keep with the constables. that's the discussion that'll be ongoing for a long time yet. But I don't think it's a burning issue as far as the Romanians in Jersey are concerned. I don't know what the burning issue is for Romanians is. I don't know. I just wanted to know, just to put on, just so that people can see this is taking place here in the heart of Jersey, an election taking place now, a democratic election actually taking place. And it's nothing to do with Jersey people. I find it all very, very interesting.